Started out volunteering as a youth coach. I had 2 daughters in youth sports, and then I got involved with the food pantry as a volunteer.
My mom from the Bronx, work was wicked important. And then my dad ultimately had manic depressive disease, and when he lost his job is when he really became much more ill. So it's not surprising that I work in an agency that focuses on people recovering from mental illness, but also focus on the value of work and the importance of having a meaningful work in your life, that builds your sense of identity, that builds your sense of purpose.
A woman came from Chicago and she needed some help, and I gave her money from my pocket, which of course is totally forbidden. And all of a sudden I thought, wow, $40 can change a life.
There really wasn't another support organization outside of the high school GSAs that was sort of a safe place for people to gather and to feel the support of others. I got involved with Wagley, and I was one of the co-founders. There really is no resource like it in MetroWest. We provide social, emotional, and educational support for kids. And I think just the impact that I see us having on these kids has just made it really an important thing for me in my life.
In my case, it was the one person who sort of drove my life, and that was my mother. She was a single parent, and she raised 5 children, but she had some language barriers, and I helped her to navigate the entire sort of healthcare system. And in the process, I realized how important it is to help seniors, their critical segment, to maintain their sense of dignity, control, and independence. And I riveted my life to that concept.
I was lucky enough to be able to spend 20 years raising 3 children at home. And being part of the Massachusetts 4-H Foundation is really just an extension of what I had been doing for 20 years.
I went and started a nonprofit kind of totally by mistake. And here we are 7 years later, and we've helped 1,200 women.
With the Senior Center, I was looking at fundraising, and they were raising $2,000 a year. I went to a number of seminars. By the time I was finished, we're raising $40,000 a year.
And that's what's drawn me to the MetroWest Nonprofit Network, is that it's a local community of like-minded people who are working hard to create impact.
I think it's an organization that really speaks to sort of some organic thing in myself, which is wanting to help out and give back. But at the same time, I also feel like it's an incredible privilege to be working with the folks that I come in contact with each day.
MetroWest Nonprofit Network has been a resource to me that is unbelievable. To help with the creativity, you find somebody else that has done something that helps you do that.
So you have to be creative, and it allows you to really then be able to bring people together, both internally in your organization, members and staff together with people outside, to really hear what people are doing. That sense of creativity, it never gets old.
It's like, wow, you know, I did that. You know, I found that resource. It's something that I didn't think we were going to be able to achieve.
We throw around this word collaboration, but there's no place where it's actualized better in the sector, because we go to places to learn best practices. We don't want to do it over. We have limited resources, and we absolutely want to know who's doing it well and how to capture that, bottle that, and do it. And that's what drives a lot of efficiency in the sector, because we are willing to learn from one another. We are all about really true collaboration.
And we do twice as much with half as much.
There are people who are tremendously committed to the mission, but also the community. And when I look at this organization, it's bringing together organizations and people on a very local basis, and so that also drives commerce. And so all of those things together is very attractive to me, because it creates a stronger community in every direction.
And there is just this amazing picture of our instructor at the front of the room doing something, and in this classroom there are, like, I don't know, 20 kids, and they're up off their seats, their hands are raised. There's this inspiration and excitement and energy around science, and it's exactly the story we've been telling about the people we want to help support. It's about how kids will get jazzed and excited and want to follow through and want to learn. And it's about inspiring their own natural curiosity. And there it was in one photo. And I went, wow, that's great. I love that.
So I had a young woman who had fled Arizona and had come to Boston because she knew Harvard was here. She knew nothing else. So, you know, this dream proposal has this big place for what is your biggest dream, and we want really big dreams. So there was just one sentence on here: win Nobel Prize in quantum physics and string theory. Oh, wow, I don't even know how to spell quantum physics. So we paid, it was $875 at Harvard Extension. She is now full fare, PhD program in quantum physics.
Well, I'll talk about Ashley, who came to the program. Ashley was failing in school and repeating a grade. She was fighting constantly with her mother, and she was disengaged from school. It was the last place she wanted to be. And last year we had to have a serious conversation with Ashley about becoming a senior this year. She was due to be a repeat junior. Well, 2 weeks ago we were able to say to Ashley, you've become a senior. And she was just beside herself with delight and joy. I mean, she just burst into tears because she was so pleased with herself, and we with her.
When you start that one-to-one connection has much greater ripple effects.
It's amazing when we see a kid who's sort of a wallflower suddenly become one of the peer leaders.
And it was just delightful to see that the organization that I raised money for could develop a young woman like that.
For a person in need to know that only one person really cares what happens to them is life-changing.
I'm a total believer in hope, that hope is the first step towards transformation. And so I think that that is what I see every day, is that people have hopeful eyes that their lives could be different. And that staff bring that to the table, that members together bring that to the table. And how can you not be inspired every day?
You know, we rely so much on volunteers too, and I think that that's kind of overlooked sometimes. You know, you're making a big impact on people, whether it's a senior who's being driven to our place to volunteer, or, you know, a young mom that's able to get out of the house. I think you're actually making a difference to all the people that volunteer for your organization, changing lives.
We actually use media to tell the stories. The outcry from the community was unbelievable. On Sunday morning, the MWRTA donated 2 vans for us so that we could pick people up. On Monday, we had 90 people in our building. Shockingly, that members came in because they wanted to say how much this place was important to her. And actually we just had a mom just had a baby, and so I hadn't seen her for about 6 weeks. And so she walked in at 9 o'clock with her infant, and I went, wow, I can't believe you're here. And she's like, well, I have to be with my peeps. And I think for me, it spoke to the work that we've done over time, that it not only kind of spoke to the internal community that we've created, but how much support we had externally. And so I think that that also told our members that they were important.
I think that people get involved with nonprofits because of the mission, but they stay because of the connection they make with the people.
What struck me was how appreciative she was about, you know, just a small token of what we did to help her through just a couple of days.
You know, when they feel that and they're hugging you, or their kids are saying, oh, you know, I can't wait to go home and eat these bananas, you know, it just, you see that frontline just appreciation of what we're doing in our community, and that's what keeps me there.
I think we all must be getting more out of what we're doing than what we put in, or we wouldn't be doing it.
And somehow network is the wrong image for me, because it's sort of network implies that we're all interconnected in some kind of thoughtful way, but we're actually more like, you know, jigsaw puzzles, where everybody's a different shape and a different size and a different color, but when you put all those pieces together, you get this picture, you know, and that's the picture is sort of the community that everybody in this room helps to create.